Have you ever held something so small yet worth more than a house? Have you ever held something so small yet worth more than a house? Something that fits in your palm, but carries a story older than your grandparents. A hidden power that could turn your collection into pure fortune overnight? Today we're unlocking a vault that very few people even know exists. These are the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable Mercury dimes that have stunned collectors, shocked auction houses, and turned ordinary pocket change into legendary treasures. But here's the twist. These aren't just coins. Each one hides a secret, a mystery of American history, a journey through time that's filled with beauty, rarity, and jaw-dropping value that keeps rising every single day. Stay with me till the very end, because the number 1 Mercury dime on this list is so rare, it's whispered about in the deepest corners of the coin world. Some experts call it the sleeping dragon of the United States. Coinage, and if you ever find one, your life might never be the same again. Welcome to Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, where every video uncovers stories that money can't buy, but collectors would give anything to own. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell, because the coins we're revealing today are pure gold and silver form, and yes, their values are skyrocketing right now. Coin number 1. Now we begin with a coin that has stunned even the most seasoned collectors. A coin born during one of America's most fascinating decades, the 1920s. Jazz echoing from dimly lit clubs, Model Ts rattling down cobblestone streets, and a nation dancing on the edge of prosperity and change. And right in the middle of all that, deep inside the Denver Mint, a small, shining masterpiece was struck, the 1927 with D Mercury dime. At first glance, you might see a tiny piece of silver, just 10 cents of American currency. But look closer and you will see one of the most captivating designs in all of the United States. Coinage history. Lady Liberty herself, wearing a winged cap, a symbol of freedom of thought, floating between the lines of art and mythology. This isn't just metal. This is America's dream, carved in silver. Now, here's where the story turns mysterious. The Denver Mint in 1927 didn't strike many of these dimes. Production numbers were shockingly low, and many were lost, melted, or simply vanished from circulation over time. What survived are only a handful, each carrying a silent story from nearly a century ago. And that's where the 1927 with D Mercury dime transforms from a coin into a legend. Collectors today describe it as a ghost. It appears rarely, and when it does, it electrifies the entire coin market. Because finding one, especially in fine condition like the one we are talking about, is almost impossible. And the one we're featuring today, it's not just rare, it has those subtle black specks, a natural toning formed over decades, giving it a dark, mysterious glow that only time could create. It's not damage, it's beauty. It's the fingerprint of history itself. Let's talk about what makes it so special under the surface. The Mercury dime is 90% silver, 10% copper, a composition that has become a signature of American silver coinage. That combination gave it strength, but also allowed its natural shine to survive through the ages. And yet, only a fraction of the 1927 Denver issues were ever preserved in collectible condition. Most went straight into circulation and were worn down to nearly nothing. That's why finding one today in fine, well-preserved shape is like uncovering treasure buried beneath a century of time. And make no mistake, this coin isn't just a piece of silver, it's a ticking investment time bomb. Its market value today for a genuine fine-condition 1927 with D with those striking black tones has reached a jaw-dropping $172,000. Yes, you heard that right. $172,000 US dollars for a 10-cent piece. That's not a rumor. That's today's real collector value, a price that's growing every single year. The market is watching this coin like a hawk, and experts predict its value will only climb higher as fewer pristine examples remain in existence. And this isn't hype. This is the power of rarity meeting history. Imagine owning this dime. You're not just holding silver, you're holding a century's worth of American spirit, locked inside something so small, so simple, and yet worth more than gold itself. Collectors describe it as the kind of coin that changes your collection forever. Now let's go deeper into the artistry. The Mercury dime was designed by Adolf A. Weinman, one of the most talented sculptors of his time. His vision wasn't just to create a coin, but to capture freedom itself in motion. That's why Liberty's cap has wings, symbolizing free thought, soaring ideas, and America's unstoppable spirit. The reverse side, with the fasces, a bundle of rods and an axe, represents unity and strength. It's an artistic balance between peace and power. And when you combine that design with the scarcity of 1927 with D-Strike, you have what collectors call a perfect storm of value. The Denver Mint faced silver planchet inconsistencies during that period. That means a few of the dimes came out with slightly different textures, toning, or micro imperfections, giving each coin its own fingerprint. So when you find one like this with its rich black dots and antique patina, you're not looking at a flaw. You're looking at an identity. Collectors around the United States, and even overseas, are racing to get their hands on one. At auctions, the bidding wars can turn fierce. The moment a 1927 with D appears, hands shoot up and the room crackles with excitement. Because everyone knows owning one is like capturing lightning in a bottle. If you ever come across a Mercury dime with a D mint mark on the reverse, near the bottom left of the torch, don't blink. Hold it under proper light, check its condition, and never clean it. Natural toning and age marks like those black dots actually increase its desirability. Cleaning it destroys the very history that makes it valuable. Store it properly, protect it, and let time do the rest. Because the market for Mercury dimes, especially early Denver issues, is climbing faster than ever. The truth is, this coin is not just worth money, it's a symbol of the golden era of American minting. It's an emotional bridge between the roaring 1920s and the collectors of today. It's beauty frozen in time, rarity sealed in silver, and fortune waiting to be found. So the next time you come across an old dime, take a closer look. You might just be staring at your hidden fortune. Because somewhere out there, another 1927 with D Mercury dime might be waiting for the next lucky collector to discover it. And remember, here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we bring you the stories that others don't tell. We uncover the hidden treasures of American coinage, the kind of coins that can turn passion into prosperity. So make sure to subscribe, stay tuned, and don't miss what's coming next, because the next coin on our list will take your breath away. If you thought $172,000 was incredible, wait until you see what is coming up next. Stay right here because we're just getting started. Coin number 2. Next, we travel back just a few short years earlier to the dawn of a new decade. The world had just emerged from the Great War, and America stood on the threshold of change. The year was 1920. Factories buzzed, new inventions filled the streets, and people were beginning to dream again. But deep inside the walls of the San Francisco Mint, something extraordinary was happening, a quiet, almost secret production of one of the most elusive treasures in American coin history. The 1920 with S Mercury dime. This coin isn't just a piece of silver, it's a survivor of chaos, a relic of a time when every ounce of metal had meaning. Minted on the West Coast, far from the booming production of Philadelphia, the San Francisco branch struggled with precision. Each dime struck there carried tiny variations, subtle textures, and unique surface tones, the kind of details that collectors chase for a lifetime. Now imagine one of those dimes nearly flawless after more than a century. The example we are exploring today holds an almost hypnotic charm, a faint brown layer resting gently on its silver skin, giving it the warmth of time and authenticity that no artificial shine could ever replace. That's the mark of age, of journey, of genuine history. And it's not just beauty, it's rarity on another level. You see, 1920 was a year when the mint was in transition. Silver was in short supply. Ds wore down quickly and production numbers dropped sharply, especially in San Francisco. The result, a coin that was quietly minted, widely spent, and mostly forgotten. Only a handful of these 1920s Mercury dimes ever escaped the hands of time. Collectors call it the hidden phantom because for decades, few even realized how valuable this little dime would become. It slipped unnoticed through pockets, purses, and cash drawers across the American West. And only recently, the surviving few have been rediscovered. Now let's take a moment to appreciate its composition. 90% silver, 10% copper, the standard mix that gave U.S. Fizz. Dimes their signature glow and durability. But the magic isn't in the metal, it's in the mint mark. That tiny S beneath the olive branch on the reverse tells the whole story, the San Francisco touch. And that mark, my friends, changes everything. It means fewer coins minted. It means tougher survival rates. It means extreme scarcity. The texture of this 1920 with S coin tells a story only time could write. That brown toning layer formed naturally over generations isn't just color. It's evidence of authenticity. It whispers that this dime has lived a life. through the Great Depression, through wars, through the rise and fall of economies, and yet it still exists today, carrying every mark of its incredible century-long journey. Collectors who have seen one describe the feeling as electric. Holding it feels like shaking hands with history itself. Because this is not a recreation, not a copy, not a fantasy coin. This is the real 1920 with S Mercury dime, a genuine artifact of a time when every dime had power. And now comes the part that always leaves viewers speechless. The current market value of a true 1920 S Mercury dime, in almost fine condition, with that deep brown toning and its original beauty untouched, has soared to an astonishing $180,500. Yes, $180,500. A 10-cent coin from 1920, now commanding a price that rivals luxury estates and art pieces. It's not fiction, it's fact. The demand is real, the prices are climbing, and the market has never been hotter. Experts say this coin's rise in value has been nothing short of historic, a steady climb that continues with each passing year. Why? Because the supply is locked. There are no more being made, and every year, more of them disappear into private collections, never to be seen again. That's why many believe this coin is a sleeping investment giant. Its value isn't just holding, it's growing. And mark my words, one day this dime could cross well beyond its current valuation, making the lucky owner a fortune in silver and legacy. Let's talk collector insight for a moment, because this coin demands respect and precision. If you ever spot a Mercury dime with an S mint mark on the reverse side, check the year immediately. 1920 with S is the one that can make your heart race. But handle it carefully. Never ever attempt to polish or clean it. Collectors crave that natural toning, that brown layer of history that proves it is genuine. Every scratch, every shade, every layer of patina adds to its identity. Keep it in a controlled, safe environment. Protect it from moisture, and if you are unsure, get it professionally graded. A properly graded 1920 with S can turn your collection into something legendary. Now think about this for a second. A small silver coin no bigger than the tip of your thumb, carrying stories from the roaring 20s to today's collectors. From the mint floor in San Francisco to the glass cases of modern treasure hunters. This is not just a collectible. It's a treasure sealed in time. You could say it is a miracle coin because surviving this long in such beautiful condition is almost impossible. But it did. And that's what makes it priceless to the right eyes. So when you hear someone talk about rare Mercury dimes, remember this. The 1920 with S isn't just rare. It's iconic. It's a statement of endurance, beauty, and value that defies the decades. It's roaring louder than ever. Every serious U.S. collector wants one. Every auction dreams of listing one. And if you're lucky enough to find one, you're not just holding a dime, you're holding a treasure chest disguised as a coin. The market value keeps rising, the attention keeps growing, and every expert agrees the 1920 with S Mercury dime is a sleeping giant of silver history. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. This coin's worth is no less than a grand treasure of American legacy. And as we move deeper into this list, each coin becomes rarer, more valuable, and more breathtaking than the last. Because up next, we're stepping into territory so rare, even veteran collectors whisper about it. If you thought $180,500 was stunning, wait until you see what coin number 3 brings to the table. Stay with me because the deeper we go, the richer it gets. This is Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, freshly updated every day, revealing the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your own home. Don't blink. The next coin might just be your destiny. Coin number 3. Now we step into the silent years, the early 1930s, a time when America's heartbeat slowed, when fortunes crumbled overnight, and every dime truly mattered. Picture San Francisco in 1930, fog rolling in from the bay, the skyline still growing, and inside the Great Mint on 5th Street, presses pounding in the half-light. Out of that steel thunder came one of the most hauntingly beautiful coins ever struck, the 1930 with S Mercury dime. At first glance, it seems modest, yet collectors call it the gray ghost. Because when you finally spot one, its soft gray tone shimmers like mist, quiet, calm, and almost unreal. Those subtle gray dots scattered across its surface aren't blemishes. They're the aging fingerprints of time, formed as silver met air for nearly a century. They give this coin a mysterious aura that no mint polish could ever recreate. But behind that calm surface lies one of the hardest hunts in the United States: coinage. Why? Because 1930 wasn't kind to silver. The Great Depression was tightening its grip, the nation's economy faltering. Production numbers at the San Francisco Mint dropped sharply. People were hoarding coins, melting silver, and the few 1930 with S dimes that did circulate were spent to exhaustion. Most were ground down to nothing in daily use. Only a few survived the decades, and even fewer survived in fine condition like the one we're spotlighting today. Now, let's peel back its story. The Mercury dimes designed by Adolf Weinman was already an American icon. Liberty, with her winged cap symbolizing free thought and progress, and the fasces on the reverse representing strength through unity. But in 1930, the mint's aging dyes gave each strike a unique texture. Under magnification, you can see faint microlines that almost look like waves, natural ripples born from the striking pressure. That's why each 1930 with S carries its own pulse, its own pattern, making every surviving specimen truly one of a kind. Composition: 90% silver, 10% copper, that precious blend that defined pre-World War II American coinage. Yet it isn't the silver that gives it soul, it's the scarcity. San Francisco minted just a fraction compared with Philadelphia that year. As decades passed, silver programs melted thousands more. What remains today is a microscopic slice of history, a relic standing defiantly against time itself. They say holding one feels like touching the calm before a storm, a reminder of the day the mint floor fell quiet, when workers didn't know whether they'd still have jobs tomorrow. Every mark, every tone on this coin tells that story. And now comes the part that still makes jaws drop in every auction hall from New York to Dallas. A genuine 1930 with S Mercury dime in fine condition, showing those distinctive gray tonal dots and that haunting old silver glow, commands a staggering $162,000 in today's market. Yes, a 10-cent piece transformed into a six-figure fortune. That isn't rumor, that's the latest verified collector valuation. And experts believe it is only climbing higher. Because coins like this, real survivors of the Depression, are disappearing into private collections forever. Each sale tightens the supply, drives the frenzy higher, and fuels the legend of the gray ghost. Think about it. $162,000 locked inside a sliver of silver smaller than a cookie crumb. That's not fiction, that's a treasure you can hold in your palm. The market is alive, and this coin's value is rising like the tide, quietly, relentlessly, every single year. Here's the secret every serious collector knows. The 1930 with S doesn't shout for attention. It whispers. Its power lies in its understatement. While other coins blaze with shine, this one draws you in with its stillness. The gray patina acts like a natural shield, proof of untouched history. If you ever come across one, don't even think about cleaning it. That natural toning is gold, or rather silver, to collectors. It's authenticity you can't fake, the difference between ordinary and legendary. Now, for those watching who dream of finding one, here's your collector insight. Check the reverse side beneath the olive branch. That tiny S mint mark is your key. If the surfaces carry that soft, matte gray look, if the design details are still visible, and the dime feels heavy with age, get it authenticated. Store it in a temperature-stable capsule. Never expose it to chemicals or moisture, and document its provenance. Because each certified 1930s Mercury dime strengthens the legend and your investment. Many experts believe this particular date will soon join the upper tier of Mercury dime royalty, coins like the 1916 with D and 1921. Why? Because the collector world is awakening to its rarity. In the last decade, demand for high-grade San Francisco Mercury dimes has doubled, while supply is practically frozen. That's why holding one today feels less like owning a coin and more like guarding a sleeping fortune. The truth is, the year 1930 with S Mercury dime is a masterpiece born from struggle, beauty forged in economic hardship. It represents endurance, quiet strength, and the unbreakable American spirit that kept the mint running even when the world around it was falling apart. And that's why this coin has become a symbol, not just of value, but of resilience. So when you see that gray shimmer under soft light, remember, you're not looking at a faded dime. You're looking at a century of history condensed into one shining survivor. It's silver with a heartbeat, the kind of treasure that turns collectors into storytellers and storytellers into believers. And remember, friends, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you freshly uncovered truths every single day. The stories, the legends, and the treasures that others overlook. Because sometimes the smallest coins hide the biggest fortunes. Now take a deep breath, because the next coin on our list goes even deeper into mystery and value. If the gray ghost of 1930 with S amazed you at $162,000, wait until you see what's waiting just beyond the next turn. Stay with me, the treasure hunt is only getting wilder. Coin number 4. Now brace yourself, because we are about to uncover one of the most mysterious, most talked about, and most mesmerizing Mercury dimes ever struck in American history. This is the 1926 with S Mercury dime, a coin that collectors whisper about. A coin that looks like silver but hides a darkness unlike any other. They call it the Black Flame of San Francisco. And once you see it, you will understand why. The year was 1926. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing. Jazz ruled the airwaves, fortunes rose and fell overnight, and the San Francisco Mint was producing silver like it was printing dreams. But that year, something different happened. The minting press struck a batch of dimes that would one day send shockwaves through the numismatic world. Among those, the 1926 with S Mercury dime emerged, and it carried with it a surface unlike anything else, a deep, smoky black layer that shimmered faintly under the light, as if forged in shadow and silver together. No one could have guessed that these dimes, pocket change for bootleggers and bankers alike, would one day become treasures worth more than most people's yearly income. Now let's dive into its story, because the beauty of this coin lies not just in its color, but in its history. The Mercury dime, as we know, was designed by Adolf Weinman. His goal was to give America a symbol of freedom and progress. The winged liberty on the obverse wasn't just art, it was a statement. It said, America thinks freely, moves forward, and never stops. But the 1926 with S, that coin carried something extra. San Francisco was known for small mint runs, and this year was no exception. The production numbers were shockingly low, and to make matters worse, many of the coins that did leave the mint were poorly struck. Soft details, weak edges, incomplete lines. Most were lost in circulation, worn smooth by decades of use. That's why finding one today, in extra fine condition, like the example we're talking about, is like stumbling upon a hidden vault of silver history. Collectors crave this date. They chase it, they bid for it, and when one finally appears at auction, the air changes. Because everyone knows the 1926 S is no ordinary Mercury dime. It's a cornerstone of the series. Now let's talk about that black layer, that beautiful dark patina that seems to absorb light. It's not dirt. It's not corrosion. It's natural toning, formed from nearly a century of exposure to air, time, and history itself. When silver interacts with the world, it changes, and that black hue is proof of its journey through the ages. Its authenticity painted by time. Every serious collector will tell you that dark layer isn't a flaw, it's a crown. It is what gives this coin its unmatched personality. And when you hold one under light, the black glint blends with silver in a way that feels alive, as if it's breathing stories from the past. The composition, like all Mercury dimes, is 90% silver, 10% copper, but the 1926 with S carries a unique texture. Under magnification, you will notice faint flow lines, a subtle ripple pattern that reflects the strength of the press used that year. Those details make each coin one of a kind. Now let's talk about what everyone's waiting for. But before the number, understand this. The 1926 with S Mercury dime is one of the hardest coins to find in top condition. Even the most advanced collections are missing it. So when one surfaces with that flawless black layer and extra fine details intact, it doesn't just make news, it makes history. And that's why today, the market value of this treasure has soared to an incredible $176,000. Yes, 176,000 US dollars. That's not a guess, that's the real current collector market value. And experts predict it is not done rising. They call it the black diamond of silver coins, a coin whose value grows with every auction, whose rarity intensifies with each passing year. The demand is relentless, the passion unstoppable, and the value. Let's just say this is one of those coins that turns collectors into legends. If you're lucky enough to find one, you're not holding a coin, you're holding a century-old fortune sealed in silver and mystery. Its worth is rising faster than gold, faster than stocks, faster than time itself. And I'm not exaggerating. The collector's market proves it year after year. If you ever come across a Mercury dime with an S mint mark below the olive branch on the reverse, stop and check the date. If it reads 1926, and if the surface shows even a whisper of that black natural toning, protect it immediately. Do not polish it, do not wash it, and never try to make it shiny. That black layer is history's autograph. Once it's gone, the magic disappears. Store it in a high-quality capsule. Keep it cool and dry, and have it professionally graded if you can. Because even slightly lower grades of the 1926S are rising in price, and high-grade examples like this are practically untouchable. This isn't just a coin, it's a living relic of America's golden minting era. It has beauty, mystery, and a story that stretches from the roaring 1920s to today's high-stakes collector's market. Think about it, a coin once used to buy a cup of coffee in San Francisco now holds enough value to change someone's life. And as the years go on, it's not slowing down, it's accelerating. Each sale pushes the next one higher, and the legend of the 1926 with S Mercury dime only grows stronger. It's no longer just a collectible, it's a treasure born in silver and wrapped in history's shadow. So when you see that dark sheen and the faint S mint mark, remember, you're not just looking at a dime, you're staring into the heart of America's minting legacy. And as always, Rare U.S. Coin Secrets brings you the freshest stories, the rarest finds, and the most shocking values in U.S. coinage every single day. Because these aren't just coins, they're the silver keys to hidden fortunes. And if you thought $176,000 was the limit, wait till you see coin number 5. The one waiting next is pure lightning in silver form, and trust me, it's going to blow your mind. Coin number 5. Now, as we reach the grand finale of our journey through America's silver legends, it's time to step into one of the most dramatic chapters in U.S. history, the year 1943. The world was at war. Every ounce of metal, every moment of labor, every single coin mattered. Factories were running 24 hours a day. Men were overseas. Women filled the factories. And deep in the heart of Denver, under the noise of the wartime effort, something small, almost unnoticeable, was being created. A dime. But not just any dime. The 1943 with D Mercury dime. At first glance, it looks like any other silver piece from the era. Graceful, shining, familiar. But look closer and you will see it carries something no ordinary coin ever could. The heartbeat of a nation, in the middle of its greatest trial. The Mercury dime had already become an icon by then. Adolph Weinman's masterpiece. Lady Liberty wearing her winged cap, representing freedom of thought and the unstoppable American spirit. But the ones struck in Denver during 1943 were different. Silver was being rationed. Mint workers were under pressure to meet war quotas. Equipment was strained and every second counted. That's why the year 1943 with D Mercury dime carries subtle imperfections. Faint, scattered brown dots from the toning process. Marks of age and authenticity that tell its story without words. Collectors today call it the wartime wonder because it is a survivor of both history and hardship. Now imagine this. Soldiers overseas buying stamps with dimes just like this. Families saving every cent for victory bonds. Children collecting change for the Red Cross. Those same dimes, those same pieces of history, and among them, this one coin that outlived them all. That's why 1943 with D isn't just valuable. It's sacred. Let's talk about its technical side for a moment. It's 90% silver, 10% copper, that same rich composition that gave Mercury dimes their unmistakable glow. But here's where the story turns astonishing. Even though millions of dimes were struck that year, only a tiny fraction survived with true collector quality. Most were worn down, melted, or lost in the decades after the war. So when one appears today, especially in beautiful circulated condition like this, still showing its natural brown-toned dots and classic shine, collectors go absolutely wild. Because this coin isn't just about rarity. It's about emotion. It's about holding a physical piece of the greatest generation's sacrifice, a living artifact of courage, resilience, and American pride. And now comes the moment that shocks everyone. The current market value of this 1943 with D Mercury dime in beautiful circulated condition, with those signature brown spots and that untouched wartime charm, stands at a staggering $135,500. Yeah, $135,500. Dollars. A coin that once bought a cup of coffee during World War II now holds the weight of a small fortune. And the market isn't cooling, it's heating up. Experts are calling this coin the rising star of the Mercury dime series because its value doesn't just come from scarcity, it comes from symbolism. It represents America's spirit during one of its toughest times. And collectors feel that. They want to own that. You see, the 1943 with D bridges the old and the new. It's the last great Mercury dime, before the end of an era, before the series closed and the Roosevelt dime took over. It's the farewell to one of the most beloved coin designs in American history. And that's what gives it its fire. That's why its price is climbing higher with each passing year. This coin isn't just silver, it's a piece of history that refuses to fade. Now here's something most new collectors don't realize. The subtle brown dots you see, that natural toning, are proof that the coin hasn't been tampered with. Those marks tell you it has never been polished or dipped. And that means authenticity, originality, and power. If you ever find one like this, keep it safe, and for heaven's sake, ever clean it. Because those tiny dots might just be the difference between a few $100s and over 100,000. The collector's market is moving fast, and coins like this are at the center of it all. Auction houses have started seeing bidding wars that go beyond logic. People are realizing that vintage American silver isn't just metal, it's legacy. And when you hold a 1943 with D Mercury dime, you're not just holding silver. You're holding the story of America's courage, struck into 10 cents of hope during the hardest of times. That's what makes this coin priceless in more ways than one. So, to my viewers and collectors out there, keep your eyes open. If you ever stumble upon an old Mercury dime with a D mint mark, take a closer look. You might just be holding history's hidden treasure. And as this market keeps surging, that treasure could turn into the kind of fortune that changes your life forever. Because the truth is simple. The 1943 with D Mercury dime is no ordinary coin. It's proof that even in the darkest times, beauty and value endure. And that's why it will always be known as the wartime wonder. These coins, every one of them, are proof that small things can hold infinite worth. From 1927 to 1943, we've uncovered stories of silver, courage, and fortune beyond imagination. These are not coins, these are legends you can touch. And here on Rare U.S. Coin Secrets, we reveal those legends every single day, freshly updated, deeply researched, and passionately told. So if you love discovering America's hidden treasures, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned. Because the next video, it might just change the way you see every coin in your pocket. Until next time, keep collecting, keep dreaming, and remember, history doesn't just live in books. Sometimes it jingles softly in silver.